Alright, Wonders, I am back here again. Basically, I'm going to do a Red Dead Redemption for the top 10 dark theories and mysteries players can't unsolve in this game. Number 10, Dutch's Cabin. We all know who Dutch Vanderlyn is. Dutch Vanderlyn is the gang leader of the Vanderlyn gang. Here's his backstory. After a robbery went wrong in Blackwater, the gang fled into the snowy mountains and basically tried to pursue their bounty against the Pinkertons, which Dutch basically wanted. Players have found out that this is actually 100% sure Dutch's cabin. Once the player, either Arthur or John, goes inside of this, you'll find a bear coming up to you. The player decides to either kill the bear with a revolver or knife, or let the bear have its meal. When you're playing as Arthur, Dutch will give you a request saying he wants an old school corn cob pipe for his collection. This can't be good. This can't be real. Number 9, the Pagan Ritual. A pagan ritual is a ritual that Native Americans and Indians had used during the Good War since the 1820s. What they do is they will take a body, like a rotted body, they will put it on a skewer stick, and they will make these masks out of animal skulls, such as a cat or a bull or a horse, to place it on the person's face to do the ritual. Once that, they'll draw a pentagram using either chalk or paint. They'll cover themselves in paint, and then they'll chant the words to bring fire. The player then decides to take this by taking the mask and receiving a stone hatchet, but the stone hatchet is available when you complete the GTA Online bounty hunting missions. This is so unbearable. Number 8, the Time Traveler. This is a weird theory that players have gotten information about. According to the Rockstar website, time traveling began in the early 1870s, where people have found out that time traveling isn't that much of a big trouble. And the only thing I know is that this player is actually from GTA 5 and might have teleported back into the 1890s to get a full experience in the Heartlands. But the player, either Arthur or John, meets this person named Francis Sinclair, who was a geologist on rock carvings. He asks you to find the rock carvings that's hidden out in the wilderness. Once you return, basically, you can actually gain access to the inside of the Francis Sinclair's house. And I'm not mistaken, if you look on his face, he has a right birthmark. Can he be a part of the Epsilon program? Let's try now. According to Chris Foreman, if you look on his left eye, he has a birthmark as well. But right here, he has a right birthmark. So I'm pretty sure he's 100% an Epsilon programmer or Epsilon member. And here's the mural, which is him in the center, trying to do a pose of him teleporting back in time when he was a baby. Number 7, the Skinner Brothers. The Skinner Brothers are a dangerous gang who are basically living out in the tall trees, and they come out at night and day to stalk people who enter their territory. Skinner Brothers are people who are armed with revolvers, bows and arrows, Lancaster repeaters, and even machetes. What they do, if players are basically coming into the territory, they will either take their scalp, skin, or anything, and they will burn their bodies on a fire. They will tie you to a tree where you can suffer from autoerotic asphyxiation. And what they can also do is they can drown you into a lake. Once after you drown to a lake, they will put salt on you if you're basically a survivor or a lone person. Well, only John can do this, but if you play as John, you can see these Steiner brothers coming out, trying to hold John Marston hostage, by saying, "Got your hair." What that means is they're trying to warn him not to camp at this area site, or they will come back and kill him. Just like the movie group. Number 6, the girl in the window. Every player wants to know what the hell is going on. According to Red Dead Wikipedia, this girl in the window is just a random girl who just watches out an Emerald Ranch. There's no way you can't get inside to interact with her. The reason why is probably because her dad is making sure she doesn't be going out into the wilderness all by herself. Many players suggest this is actually the Queen of Luxembourg, which I'll film a video about that tomorrow. And this is the player how she got out. I don't know, they probably have used like a mod or a glitch that Rockstar cannot underestimate what's going on. Number 5, the Ghost of Agnes Downs. Agnes Downs was a young girl who basically committed suicide in the forest just after the day her father had basically passed away. Her father's being so abusive to her. Just right after she was 10, her father killed her mother, and her father had gave her brutal punishments such as spanking, raping, and even skin peeling. After she can't take it no more, after she dumped her boyfriend or her lover, she commits suicide into the forest, and many players have found this ghost basically being haunted. I have no conclusion of why she did this. Was it because her boyfriend left her, or was it her dad the whole time? Number 4, UFO sightings. I didn't know that UFOs were actually discovered in the 1800s. Well, there is. Once you've come to this shack here, which is a witch shack where witches make potions, you will actually hear something. There will be a green light or a green beam coming on Arthur or John. If you shoot the UFO will win a ray. The second UFO is basically found on Mount Shan. And now there's a third UFO mystery, but the thing is, it's fake. A player had used this, for example, to find the third UFO sighting. May suggest that the third UFO sighting could be the corpse of Michael DeSanta. This is it. Now, according to the Wikipedia, this is 100% fake. If you look at the photo, it shows a person being abducted, and here's Michael laying on the ground being burned. Once the player has decided after the player has been killed, they decided to loot this non-playable character and to reveal a magical amulet like the one Michael wears into the Keflon program. So if you look, this is him. That's him wearing their amulet, which is actually a gold medal. But if you type up magical amulet, it's the same thing. It's the same thing that this guy is wearing. That's actually 100% Michael. Number 3, the mysterious Hills home. Number 3, the mysterious writing. Many mysteries are basically underestimated. This mystery has been getting out into Saint Denis when you reach chapter 4, when Jack is kidnapped by the Braithwaites and is taken to Angelo Bronte's mansion. This reveals a secret mystery on a vampire in Saint Denis. Once you find all the five writings, you will actually meet the vampire himself, Nosferatu. Once that, he will give you questions of him backing away while he's doing his business. You either have the option to defuse the situation or antagonize him. Once that, try to loot him or shoot him. And if if you loot him, you'll receive a couple of bat wings, and receive an ornate dagger, which he uses to sucking on. Number 2, the Aberdeen Couple. This is one of the most players' unbelievable things that ever happened. There's a real life story called the Aberdeen Pig Farm. The Aberdeen Pig Farm is a location that's actually run by a couple who their parents had passed away. The players' names are Tammy and Bray Aberdeen. Once then, while playing as Arthur John, you walk past their house, and where you see Bray outside, inviting you to dinner, to have dinner with them. Once Bray told you to go check on Tammy, you will see her right there changing. And once you investigate the armor, you will actually find hidden bones. You will actually find hidden bones in the closet, which is appear to be their mother. I don't know why they kept skeletons, but here's the other story. Once you either drink the beer or eat stew, you will actually pass out, and they will take your money and will hide it underneath a portrait of their mother. Once that Arthur is basically laying out, where a body is laying on him. Once that the player has an option to go back in the house to retrieve their money by killing Bray and Tammy. But once that, there's a hidden floorboard in the house, which is basically revealed just to be jewelry, which is just fake plastic mounted jewelry. I have no idea, but here's the real life story of the Aberdeen family. I'm not even joking, this is a real life place. I'll call you back. I'm not seeing any images. Whether this might be a hoax or if one of Rockstar's crazy theories for the next online update. Before we get any further, some honorable mentions I'll review in tomorrow. If people you know who play Red Dead Redemption 2, let me know in the comments down below. Number 1, the Strange Man. Every player knows the Strange Man theory. It all started back in the first video game, Red Dead Redemption, where this man knows everything about John Marston and his family. Once that, John keeps having enough of him stalking around his home and starts trying to shoot him, he can't be invincible. Well, we can. Once the player has entered his cabin, which is located out in the bayou, the player has to solve a case of a painting fainting. The player must come back for a few days to reveal that the drip of the paint of the drip is dripping off the portrait. And when you reach day 3, you'll see that you will actually see the strange man in a mirror, which is so horrifying. That's the most reason that Rockstar put this in here. They put so much effort into this. Once you turn around, he's not there. And when you come back for the final day, you will actually reveal the mystery of the painting. Now, keep in mind, this person also does something weird. He takes newspaper scraps, he puts it on his wall, and write down some quotes that he knows, saying that he knows everything people does. Could this be a stalker? Or could you think this would be Josiah Trelawney's alter ego? Once a couple years later, in 1907, John goes to New Austin into Herbert Moon's shop, where he reveals talking to him, saying where you get that picture from, and said a friend gave it to him. And there's also a question in this guy here. If you find this campsite in New Austin, This guy will tell you everything about why armadillos been basically had the plague. And he'll also get information on the strange man wearing a top hat, suit, and everything. Could this be the Englishman of Gavin's friend? This is also another theory that I'll be showing you in the video tomorrow. Thank you all. Or maybe I can actually do it. Maybe I'll do another one. I might do another one after this. So I'll come back to you when I'm done.